All right, how you doing? Um, Today we're going to do a little video on IAQ. Now, everybody gets sick, and sometimes people don't know why they're sick. Sometimes they're sick all the time, and they haven't put it together that maybe they're getting sick in their home. And then the first thing they do is they're like, "Well, I don't feel too good, but I feel better when I go to a hotel, or when you go on vacation, or your friend's house, or you go outside." Well, you might want to find out what's going on in your house. Now, the first thing that happens is you're going to say, "Oh, it's the mold," and then the mold guy shows up, and, "Oh, yeah, it's the mold," and then they charge you thousands of dollars to try to clean up some mold, because they're going to find mold everywhere. I mean, I could find mold pretty much in any house. Maybe it's not the mold. Maybe it's something else. So what we're going to do today is I'm just going to throw some stuff out here, and it's a lot of this is just common sense. And so let's just go right into this, man. Let's just get right into it. So I got a little PowerPoint, of course, and I even have some cool visual aids, which I'll show you in a few minutes. All right. So let's get into this. All right. So we're going to do this PowerPoint here, and so maybe there's dust in the house. Where's this dust coming from? Maybe it's in the attic. Maybe it's in the slab or underground. Maybe it's blowing through the house, and you keep cleaning up the dust. So maybe we got to figure out what's going on. Is it dust that's making us sick? So we stick our hands into the ducts, and some of us have ductwork underneath our home and our slabs. Oh, there's water down there. That's a problem, right? So that's going to grow all kind of stuff. So look at the ductwork, especially ducts that are under slabs. Sometimes water gets into them. That's also where it's moist, and all the bugs get in there. What if it's your ductwork, your cold air returns? Okay, no one ever cleans the cold air returns, and I've seen. And you know what? I'm going to show you a really crazy example and a very cool gauge I use for dust. All right, a little bit. What if we have cold places where there's condensation occurring, like up in the attic? So maybe we got to fix our thermal bypass and our thermal bridging. Maybe hot air is escaping with moisture because of humidifier into the attic and causing mold up there. Okay, maybe there's a problem with insulation. Okay, what about carbon monoxide, incomplete combustion? These heating guys, they don't test your house. They come in there, they oil your furnace, change your filter, they charge you a ton or $200, tell you you need some high-low limit control or something, and you're out $500. And guess what? You're still getting sick. They didn't check for combustion analysis. Most of the time, you got to drill a hole in the flue. You want to check the combustion. What about the water heater? Nobody ever checks the draft of the water heater. You got to, drill a hole and put a draft gauge on it. Maybe your water heater is the makeup air for your house. Maybe what's happening is the draft is too good, and your water heater's got incomplete combustion, and you're getting byproducts from that. So you can have byproducts from gas appliances. Okay, and of course the carbon monoxide. What if your boiler looks like this? Well, that's a problem. Now these are different types of particulates, and I'm going to show you a tool how we can measure them. Sometimes it's odors that make you sick, all right, and they cause other problems. So sewer odors. Sometimes people have crawl spaces, and the toilets are leaking into the crawl space, and you've got dirt down there, and all of a sudden you're getting poor indoor air quality from the dirt, because the dirt's moist. You don't have a vapor barrier in the crawl space. What about pets? I mean, birds, they're nice, but if you're gonna have a pet, man, you better have proper humidity control. You better have HEPA filters. I mean, all kind of pets come with different types of problems. Like pet poop is not good for you. You can get sick. It might resemble pneumonia. What if you got like chickens or dogs? That's a chicken dog, and there's no such thing. But what if you've got you've got attached a house? A lot of people are into chickens now. What about the feathers? And the dogs also. The saliva gets into the carpets. And if you have high humidity, then all of a sudden you've got dust mites living in the carpets, and they're pooping 50 times their weight in fecal pellets. And then you walk by, and then you aerosolize it, and it goes up, and little kids on the floor, on the carpet, and his breathing zone's much lower than yours. And then you wonder why kids got asthma. So, you want to keep it up. What about other weird pets, like monkeys or cats? There's no such thing as a cat monkey. But what about all pets? Okay, they all got problems. Cats have different types of parasites. What if you've got plants in wet soil and it's attached to your house? That's another problem. They come with different types of bugs. different types of flies. So we're gonna try to, we don't want to blame just mold. There could be a lot of stuff that are making you sick, and you gotta sit back and think about it. Like, well, I feel better here. Does it smell? And so particulate matter, and this is what I'll show. I'll show you a gauge here that can measure this, but microns are small. Okay, so here you see where it says, this is actually EPA stuff, and I'm not going to read this, but basically 10 microns and lower. See, 10 to 5 microns is big particles that settle out. A lot of your molds and your slime molds, like your Stachybotrys, the bad black mold, that all that stuff, your water event molds, your penicillins, your aspergillus, your gandodermas, those are like big pieces. They're large. They're like 5 microns, 2 microns. And a lot of those get stuck right beside your nose. They don't go too much farther. So they cause you to sneeze. But then the smaller particles, like the 2.5s and the 1s and the 0.7s, those go down into the lungs and cause all kind of problems. So, the different size particles. So you want to know what's, is it your lungs that are making you sick? Is it in your nose? You got to think about this stuff, okay? And so, what about moisture in the basement, in your crawl space? Efflorescence is going to, moisture causes mold, right? Moisture brings in bugs. Insects, they die, right? The insects fight each other, and then you got insect fragments, right? Then it gets in the ductwork. So you could be allergic to insect fragments, pollen. What about like water just sitting around, like those things that people have with fish tanks? I don't know, they have like water off to the side. Well, that could be a problem. How about cold spaces where your heating system doesn't hit good, and you get dew point condensation and mold, and you got peeling paint, right? And paint breaks down, like in windows. Lead dust is a whole, the lead dust is friction in windows, friction in doors, friction in cabinets. Man, that stuff is double bad. Not only does the dust make you sick, but it messes with your brain, And then you got people that take different kind of pills, and they take prescriptions, and they mix them, and they don't read what they do. And all of a sudden they're itching their skin, and they're thinking, oh, there's something in my house causing my skin to itch. And then you read the drugs and this drug and that drug. The side effect is skin rashes, So you got to look at the side effects and see if you got those, and start looking at the whole picture. A lot of us are getting sick in our homes, and the other problem is that our homes are tight. They don't hold as much water. These new homes today are made of metal, of gypsum board, of fiberglass. The old days they were using stone and wood, and cement and things that would hold water, would hold a lot of water, and it would just sit there like, like it was like a reservoir, and that would slowly dissipate, no problems. Today, houses can't hold any water. So you spill a cup of coffee, man, you've got mold growing in the attic. Well, probably not like that, but you know what I mean. So then we contaminate our house, with cigarettes or incense or air fresheners, okay? We could have gas leaks. Now those are kind of tough. Those are VOCs, and we're not going to get too much into the VOCs, but volatile organic compounds are also particulate that make people sick. People have all types of sensitivities, electrical sensitivities, mold sensitivities, food sensitivities. Everyone's different. All our bodies are different. Our DNA is different. So everybody becomes sensitized differently. And some people are lucky. Some people can live in dust because they're used to it. Today's kids, they're so clean. They wash their hands. They don't have any tolerance to stuff. So that's why they get sick quicker. We used to play in the mud. When we were kids. So dust, where's it coming from? What's in the dust? Every home has its own fingerprint, its own DNA dust. There is not one dust that's different. It's all different in everybody's home. Sometimes we could use like infrared, or we could use black lights, and we could find like urine from mice or from cats, and we could things that effloresce, then these things make you sick too. I mean, I go to people's homes, and man, I get sick from candles with scents in them. And I don't like that, and incense, and also air fresheners. My God, you think that air freshener disappears? It's not magic. It goes down to nothing. You plug it into the wall. I mean, I have videos on a lot of this stuff, so check it out. So particles, there's different sized particles, and they're bigger, larger particles that stop in the nose. They cause different problems, and we got stuff that go down into the lungs and cause lung problems and heart failure, asthma, all kind of stuff. So you got to know what you're dealing with, okay? I mean, look at this. I mean, is this rocket science? that's a little bit dirty, that's never been cleaned. That's a cold air return. How's a cold? That's like the filter, okay? Look at that carpets, and you got weird stuff like what's that yellow stuff, So you got to find out what's going on in your house. What about sub pumps? People put sub pumps in the basement. They don't cover them. What do you think? Moist air rises. It's lighter than dry air. So now your sub pump's connected to a drain tile system. So you got 50 feet of pipe that's around your house. It's got holes in it because that's what they are, right? Storm lines and drain tile. And now you're smelling stone or you're smelling mold and moisture. And you run a dehumidifier, right? You're like, oh, I'll fix that with dehumidifier. And then you got a sub pump cover that's off. What do you think you're doing? You're just recirculating the air. You're dehumidifying the backyard. So you got to have sub pump covers that are sealed. Carpets, that's, I got whole videos just on carpets. Carpets are just big filters. I don't know if carpets are a good idea. Okay, new carpets and outgassing no VOCs. Old carpets just get nasty, and then you throw in some pets and some humidity, and you got dust mites. Then you got like smokers. Don't smoke in a house. I mean, you want to smoke, go for it. Go outside and smoke. Don't smoke in a house because that's all going to plate out. So there's all types of things that cause indoor air problems. Okay, we talked about this, gas-fired systems, fireplaces, chimneys, tobacco smoke, bugs. Then you go out and buy these things. You're like, okay, I got this house, I'm going to smoke, so let me get a filter. So this is an ozone machine. That's another problem. You're taking oxygen and mixing it up, making an O3. They're not good for you. Okay, so ozone machines, they say, oh, they smell good, they smell clean. No, I would not do ozone machines. Now, I do believe in HEPA filters, high pressure particle air filters, but then people don't really change the filters on them. You got to change the filters. HEPA vacs, they're good, but you got to change the filters on the HEPA vac, right? And another thing is, everyone thinks the vacuum cleaners, they suck up. A lot of times they actually disturb and create dust too. So you want to make sure your vacuum cleaner's doing good. Then people get these things, man. These are humidifiers. I mean, sometimes you need a humidifier, but 99% of the time, no, man. These things grow bacteria, they grow mold, they make you sick, and then you got mold and bacteria growing inside your ductwork, and then it's in your evaporator coil. Guess what? Your heating guy is not cleaning the evaporator coil. There's a pan in there, man. That should be clean. Okay, I know these things will cause condensation on cold surfaces, especially on the north side of the attic or closets. Mold's starting to grow. You're like, oh, my leather shoes got mold on them. Oh, what's that? It's the humidifier, man. Turn that thing off. Turn it off. Maybe get yourself a dehumidifier. Okay? If you start getting shocked, well, guess what? The humidity's too low. You might get a couple cracks in the walls because you're pulling the moisture out of the wood. Fine, turn it off. Okay, but go boil some water. Go make some pasta. It'll take care of that problem. So how do we reduce exposure? We talked a lot about that. I mean, you gotta make sure you're heating. Now, the heating guys, they don't even test for carbon combustion analysis, half these guys. So you want to check your furnace, especially if it's old, for combustion analysis. You want to check the draft, your water heater. You want to make sure you don't have negative pressure in the basement. Your cold air returns are sealed. All these things contribute to poor indoor air. A lot of times you could diagnose this yourself and figure it out. A lot of times it's real easy. Other times it's not. So you want to make sure your house is working right. I mean, what about a crawl space? People got dirt crawl spaces. Well, that's not working too good because now it's a vented crawl space. If it's not a vented crawl space, it's a conditioned crawl space. If you want a conditioned crawl space, it'd better be done right. But here you got asbestos paper floating around, right? You got dust and dirt. And if you got a cold air return down, guess what's going on? You're getting dust from your crawl space. Your fireplace. Make sure that it's clean. Have it clean and don't burn crummy wood. And if you're cold in the winter, then there's something going on. That means your cold air returns are causing negative pressure and your fireplace becomes a makeup air vent. You gotta check it out, make sure it's working. Then you go in your attic, you see these little drops of, what's that? Well, that means the nail heads are getting full of ice because you got too much humidity in the winter. So you could be causing your poor indoor air quality different times of the year, maybe when it rains, or maybe when it's sunny, when it's cold, when it's hot. You gotta look what about mice and bats and not fecal pellets, but guano and mouse poop. I mean, that's no good. And then the mice live in your attic, right? And they make all kind of, and now you've got that odor, that wildlife odor. So you want to pay attention to your allergies. See when, and start writing down, hey, I sneeze when I go outside. I don't sneeze. So pay attention to them. Pay attention to your body. When do you cough? Any new symptoms like, oh God, I got nauseous, I got rashes. Write it down. Get a little book. Hey, my book of what's making me sick. And after a while, you could figure it out. And if your lungs start to hurt, man, that's getting serious now, right? And also look around the outside. Maybe you live downstream of a cement plant or Burger King, or the guy just came in and put new carpets in, or the guy repaired a wall or leak, and all of a sudden you're getting sick and like, whoa, new furnace. Well, wait a minute, the furnace could be dripping somewhere in the wall. So look at any new home improvements. Look at your surroundings and rule out things too, don't just blame things, rule it out and say, okay, it's not this, it's that. And you start breaking it down and then look at all the inconsistencies. Then, if you can't figure it out, well, I wouldn't hire a mold guy. Okay, unless you had a flood. Then you got to call your insurance company and dewater your house, and then you got the mold guy because there's mold if there's a flood. But don't call a mold guy if you're sick. I mean, what if it's electromagnetics? What if you are sensitized to electrical? There's different types of electrical sensitivities. Let's say you've got high harmonics, and all of a sudden you put an all new compact fluorescent light bulbs in your house. Those create super high harmonics. Now you're pumping high harmonics in your electrical system, and your body's like, whoa, it doesn't like that. And it's because of the light bulbs. So you got to look at stuff. It could be the light bulbs. You want to have light bulbs that don't create harmonics. You want to have like filament type light bulbs. You don't want to use dimmer switches. You don't want to stand next to a microwave. You don't want to put your bed behind an electrical meter outside, right, the panel, because you're going to get high EMFs. Maybe you want to check your bed. Maybe the springs are magnetized. So people have different types of sensitivities and different types of sicknesses. So like here, you look at the picture here. So here's a couple little tools. That's a mold tester. Well, that could be a water problem. This is VOCs. This is volatile organic compounds. This could be you bought a new house and your house has OSB and it's formaldehyde, and that's what you're sick of. That does formaldehyde. Oxygen, right? When you're I'm going to do a sample here of a gambling casino. And this thing was great for oxygen, but wait till you see what the gambling casino looked like up in the attic. And this is combustion analysis. So, you can hire somebody like me, to come do it. Now, what if you get sick and you're itching because you're using fragrances in your dryer? A lot of people can't deal with that. And they're like itching, they want to blame it on a cat or a dog, and here it's the dryer. So I'm not real big with this stuff. I mean, there are products you could buy, and I'll leave a link below for that, where you don't even need to use detergent. They have products where you could do things to the water, but then you got to do cold washes, and I'll put a link down there for you for that. I don't want to get into that. That's a whole other video. What if you don't clean your dehumidifier? Sometimes that gets dirty. What about the mice? You put the mouse poison in the attic in the traps, and then they die and they rot out. So how the mice getting in? That's what I got a video on that. You should check out how to find mice. Okay, what about stuff that's stored in your house or in the shed that's not good? There's all kind of stuff that's not good that's stored. Look at the ductwork. That's the first thing I do is clean the ducts here. And if other problems with ductwork is there could be like cobwebs, and especially the ducts under the ground, and that's where the bugs are at because it's moist in there. They like it down there. So what are you going to do? You're going to put poison in your ductwork, in your supply ductwork. So now you're going to breathe poison. Dilution. The solution to pollution is definitely not dilution. Okay, no way, no how. Okay, that needs to be cleaned. What about oil heating? You got those underground. I've had people, those are in the slab and they're leaking, and that's causing indoor air. Now here's a good one. You go to work and you're sick at work. You can't figure it out why. So I go there and I show up and they're like, you have like, they call it sick building syndrome, So I go to this building here and I'm just like, everyone's getting sick. They had a water heater that with incomplete combustion. It was an old water heater, so it wasn't even burning right. So that's bad enough. But then they had this thing dumping up on top of the roof, and guess what's above it? Oh, the cold air return. Oh, there we go. Carbon monoxide gets sucked into the air, and everybody's getting nauseous. And the real problem wasn't this. The real problem, if the water heater didn't have incomplete combustion, then this would be a problem. But 1 out of 50 water heaters has incomplete combustion, and it's okay as long as the gases go outside. But if you bring them back in, or there's poor drafting, you've got a whole nother problem. And then, of course, you know, you got the mechanicals, your other stuff that make you sick. Some people are sick from copy machine inks and right down the line. So there's a lot of stuff that can make you sick that isn't just mold, okay? And so let's go back here. Let's go to my little thing here. So, like, well, look at this book here, all right? This here, Indoor Air Quality Handbook. Now look at this. Look how thick this book is. I mean, it's got like 1,500 pages. Now, you could tell that I'm an expert in this field, and I need to read this book. I mean, I have it if I need it, but I bought this book a long time ago. So then I figured, hey, you know, why don't I get a smaller book? So I bought this book, okay? So I read that book, all right. And then I got another book. So there's all these books that you can buy, you know, and read up on it, you know. Most of it's going to be common sense. So now this is what's called a particle counter. Now, what's funny is that nobody even knows what this is, and maybe we'll turn it on for the heck of it, okay? Now this thing here, I just happen to use one, and you know, when you're doing indoor air quality, it's kind of nice to know. Is that coming in there? It's a little out of focus. It's kind of nice to know. Let me just turn it on here. Let's hit the button. Okay, it's kind of nice to know what the particles are. So, like, you know, if we don't know what they are, at least we're trying to find out which room is dirty, more dirty than the others, right? So you go to one bedroom, you know, and you turn up the furnace and you walk around, and you jump up and down on the bed or whatever, and then you look at the particles and you do a test. And you want to do all the tests on the outside and on the inside, and then you want to compare it, and you could check it out. Like, for example, here, let me get this pen here. Okay, sorry, so here, this right here, 5 microns, that's big stuff. Remember I talked to you about the 5 microns? I said 5 microns was stuff that gets stuck in your nose, right? So this could be mold here, this 10, right? And then we get to the smaller parts, 2 microns. That's almost getting down to your lungs, right? 150. Now these numbers don't really mean anything. I'm just throwing them out. You're going to find these outside too. What you want to do is compare them, and then maybe you want to vacuum a carpet, see is the carpet fibers breaking down. Sometimes it's the fibers of the carpet. It's old. Maybe it's the carpet padding that's failing. You know, maybe one room is a lot more than another room because of things going on in that room. Now this stuff here, 291, man, it's starting to get down deep. Whoa, now we're into the cilia. And this, look at this. This is all cancer stuff here. This gets in your lungs. This is stuff you don't want in your lungs. This is the bad stuff right here. You know, like your smokes and things that kind of like linger for a while, like air freshener, aerosolized chemicals, you know, things like that. Those are small particles that gets right down in your lungs. Ooh, it smells good. I don't think so. So anyways, so this is what's called a laser particle counter. I bet I'm the only guy in Cleveland got one of these. They're really expensive. It's not the only tool you use. Now check this out. Here we go. You're going to go to I did this gambling casino. I'm going to say I did this 20 years ago. So you go to this gambling casino, and it smells good, but you know what they're pumping? They're pumping oxygen into the air, keep you up. But you don't see the dust that's above your ceiling. Look at this. These are the ceilings above one of the gambling casinos. I mean, this is crazy. Look at these ceiling tiles. Look, there's just mold growing on this. This is like a gambling casino in Atlantic City. I think it was the Sands, but I don't think that's there anymore. I think they blew it up. But it doesn't matter. I'm just giving an example. I've been doing this stuff for, I'm going to say decades. Now look at, this is the cold air return. Look at this thing. Those are the sidewalls of the cold air return in the gambling casino. Look at this one is so heavy, the dust is so heavy that the ductwork is deflecting. Man, look at that. You're breathing this stuff. So you go to stores, man, you don't know what you're breathing. You got to be careful today. This is all above the ceilings. And by the way, above the ceilings, in most places you go to, are the cold air returns. Those are the cold air returns. And that's me back, oh man, look at that. I was a young dude back then. I'm going to say it's close to 20 years old, maybe 18 years old. And I'm taking samples of the dust, and just look how dirty this stuff is. Nobody looks in these places. I mean, this is above the drop ceilings. A lot of places we work at, above the drop ceilings are the cold air returns, and you could just see how nasty this is. You look at the nobody ever checks the insulation up in the attic, and if that communicates with your house, that's making you sick. Okay, so let me get back here. Okay, so all right. So we're back to the last slide. So let's just talk about this for a minute and this video. So basically, it's not always the mold that's making you sick. It could be a lot of stuff. I mean, I go to homes, and these people they spent tens of thousands of dollars on mold and tested for this, and here it's when they changed her. I had one lady that got sick all the time when she changed her it wasn't I don't know what kind of animal it was, a hamster. I don't know, it wasn't a hamster, it was one of those, I don't know, like a hamster. And every time she changed the cage, there was a cold air return right there. And as she dumped it into the garbage bag, it got sucked into the house and aerosolized. And about 20 minutes later, this lady's hacking. I had another lady that was blaming mold, and then we tested the frequencies, not the frequencies, the EM. We tested the harmonics. And man, that house was like a radio station. It was like an antenna. I mean, I plugged my stuff in, and I could listen to music from like all the AM stations. That's how bad that house was. That was making her sick. And sometimes it's your pets. I mean, think about this. We have 300 million people in America, and there's 250 million pets in our home. So that's a little bit crazy. And I know the asthma rate is going up, right? So, it used to be where the pets lived outside. Now people sleeping with the pets. They got little steps that go up to the beds, you know what I mean? They feed their pets. I mean, I go to homes, inspect them. They're feeding the cats on the countertops where the donuts are at. I mean, whatever, hey, do what you got to do. So it could be the pets. It could be the fecal pelts. Then you got mice living in the attic. What if it's the attic insulation that's got mouse pee in it, or bats, or other types of insects, moisture insects in crawl spaces, and the insect fragments break up and they get into the home, and then your heating system is imbalanced, so you're sucking it in. So there's a lot of things that could be making you sick. Anyways, if you're in Cleveland, hey, that's what I'm into. Give us a call. If not, figure it out on your own. You could read that big book I showed you. Or a lot of it's common sense. You could figure it out, get a logbook, and start working on it. Oh, man, within a year, you'll figure it out without hiring me, For people out of town, I do have a service called Call Marko with a Question. That's Marko with a K. And it's not a whole lot of money. Usually in 15 to 20 minutes, I can ask you enough questions, get some photos, and we could figure out your problem. Or at least I could help you out, so you're not getting ripped off by a waterproofer or something like that. I've been doing this for, I'm going to say, 33 years. I've done 18,000 inspections. Been doing this for a long time. And so, anyways, I'll have a lot more videos. Keep watching them, I'm going to keep putting them up. Subscribe, I need more subscribers, so please subscribe. And give me some thumbs up and share. If you share it, then I don't get censored. A lot of times they don't like the information that we provide because it doesn't fit in their narrative. Anyways, hey, thanks for coming on. All right.